All right. Well, how's it going, Peter? What do you have in
Good.
store for today?
Well, uh, we're gonna do the VATS. That is gonna be fun. Um, I wanted to just do a quick update on everybody's feedback, which I really appreciated. It's been fun to see what people are doing. I thought maybe, I don't know, Ivy, if you and I want to just wrap for a second about what it's like to see people engaging with some of the storytelling features and so on. I think maybe let if we want to start there, and then I'll just take people on a quick tour of
Yeah, totally. What
what's
have you,
next.
I know you and Jess have had your ears down. So yeah, what have you guys been thinking about? I think that's a great place to start.
Toon, you want to join us, or are you gonna just lurk?
Can
We'll
invite you up
see.
onto the stage.
Lurk,
She's gonna lurk.
yeah, figured, figured. All right. Um, yeah, so and actually, I'm not going to try and screen share again, Ivy, but I wonder if you might want to. I've added a couple things, and if
Yeah,
you
let
want to
me
click around on the beta site, I can talk them through.
yeah. Hold on. I'm pulling it up. Oh wait, pulled up the wrong side. Beta. Alrighty. Let me hold on. I have to move my windows around quickly. I already have like 700 tabs open today, and it's half
Yeah,
hour into the
it's only
workday.
it's only 9:30 Pacific time.
Alrighty, here we are.
Cool. All right. So those of you who don't spend all your time on the site will learn. We'll just maybe see a couple things. Some of this is little, some of this is bigger, but we've got uh, we've got a podcast now. I don't know if you guys knew that. Um, so you can listen to the first episode right up there in the top left, and give it a click. Will it share your audio through the? Do you
I
know if it'll
doubt
do
it.
that?
Welcome
Yeah.
to the deep dive.
No,
Oh, I can hear
it's.
it.
Oh wait, you can.
Diving into Hive
Yeah,
City
yeah,
Cool.
do
today,
it.
going to try to unpack what this digital world is really all about.
So
Yeah,
leave this running for a
it's
minute.
one of those things, isn't it? Like it's really pushing the boundaries of how we think about existing and connecting in the digital world.
It really is. So, for anyone who's maybe hearing about Hive City for the first time, can you give us the rundown? What is this place?
So Hive City, it's basically a digital ecosystem. It's built on the Lamina One blockchain, but
Okay,
it's
that's enough for
way
now.
more than just.
Cool.
So that's fun. I actually encourage you guys to listen to the podcast. It's good, and we do have an update from Partra, a correspondent at Hive City, and this is the first step of something I've been really excited about doing for a long time, which is Partra's script was generated from data on the server. So, for instance, you guys will find journal entries have been turned into some news events, and Tarka talks about them in the podcast, or not in the podcast, but in the little like talking head clip. And actually, the podcast knows all this stuff too, and so they refer to some of the events that are going on in Hive City too. So you guys should watch those. I think they're it's fun. Um, Tartra's renderings are definitely in the freaky uncanny valley. We're using Hedra right now, and it's a little scary, but it's fun. And I think again, like we're building out this ecosystem together. We're building out this community content together. We're I'm starting to sort of like lay a little groundwork for how we can deploy this different places. And if we're going to use some game industry terminology, like this is sort of pressing into transmedia. So these are a couple demonstrations over time, like you all are going to be, we hope, getting more and more tools to engage in the stuff yourself. And so right now it's all very kind of manual, but I want to just keep showing that this stuff is happening to you guys. And so it actually is like, I found, I don't know, Ivy, how much you clicked around in the last few days, but like I kept threatening to like reset the server. We have a bunch of smart contract bugs we got to fix. But then I'm like, I don't want to lose everything actually. So we are sadly going to lose it all and reset after the VATS. And so we'll be back to square one, and you'll all have your original personas and testers. Will those of you who have filled out the form will integrate you automatically into like our next phase of testing. And so what I'm hoping we're going to be able to do. There's a couple other just little nice things like click buy now. Um, we've started to get some like images for different things, and that's the teaser of what the back of the pack will look like for Gen 2. If you want to
Cool.
zoom in there, I think I actually kind of really like this like tarot style.
Yeah.
Like
There we go.
so these are cool, and there's a lot of like references to the different tribes in these designs and stuff. And um, so that's all pretty cool. I am going to. I'm trying to wonder how can I do this without screen sharing. I want to talk through. Okay, I'm just going to throw a bunch of images in the top testers right in this Discord here. So hold on one second. None of these are guaranteed. And actually, there's some of the things I just want us to be talking about.
Yeah, throw them in
is
the
like,
chat if you can, so that we can
yeah,
have the video going. Perfect.
I will do. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've talked to you guys a little bit about. Okay, we'll see. There we go. Oh, they're up. We got a little gallery here. So I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the stuff we're sort of exploring, thinking about opportunities, mulling over, and so on. So start actually. So my grid, it's the bottom middle. It's this woman doing a push-up. Do you guys see that? So okay, so I was saying in our last AMA, like rendering text moved on a lot in the last year, and however, there's some good and some bad. So this is a render from Flux Pro, and I've been experimenting with like poses, and you can see that like Flux is very good at rendering these poses. So you guys may know we're going to have a new tribe in Gen 2, and I don't know if we've announced what it is or not yet, but you might guess from this photo. You might have some guesses about the new tribe. And what Flux can't do is get us the look that we have in Gen 0. And I, yes, Killen's got it. Yeah, bully slash jock. It depends on your frame of reference, Killen. You might think jocks are the best people in the world, or you might think differently.
Know
about
your
them.
audience.
Yeah, everyone's got their own perspective on that. So, the story of the tribe naming is hilarious. I'll tell you guys when we fully announce them. So, if you, what you can do is like condition these weaker models that have the visual style we want on some poses. So that this woman doing a push-up has then been like reprompted into a visual style on the top left. And if you load that one up, you'll see this looks, I think, close enough to our original that it's in style for Gen 0. It's got a few differences. Now, I advise you, unless you want to be horrified, not to look too closely at what's happening in the back legs of that push-up. Like, there are real difficulties here. And I don't know that they're solvable right now. And so one of the things I've been thinking about, partly because it's kind of nice, I think, for Gen 0 to have its own unique style, but partly because I want some more flexibility on rendering, is to be able to like think about adding some additional style, or like think about representing. Yeah, that's right. We've got this control net pose stuff here that a squid is throwing out. That's exactly right. So just to like get this, see what we can do about like exploring some different visual styles. So the top middle one is a prompt. This is an Afrofuturist assassin and it's an Underdark assassin, Afrofuturist like cybermancer, I think is the two. And so this is a look. And these looks, again, like I said, I just want people to know kind of where we're exploring. But it's possible, I'm mulling over if Gen 2 might look more like this, and maybe you'd pay to unlock a Gen 0 style portrait of these. And I think this is something I am pretty interested in community feedback on. If you go to the top right one and the bottom left, those are test renders. So that's an Afro, no, it's a Neo-Victorian and a K-pop bodyguard kind of looking out over Hive City. And you can see, and then if you go to the bottom left one, these are both different test renders of the two. I've been working on like rendering out contests. So we have this idea in Hive City that like the personas are going to meet and maybe contest, and it might impact your infusion. And so I'm kind of like working on these like multi-face renders, which is very, very challenging for a year ago. Diffusion models, it's not really that possible, but you can do them now. Flux is like pretty one note about cyberpunk. It has to be pink. There has to be like random Asian looking characters in the background. So all this is just kind of like in the middle of art direction right now. And that bottom right one you can see is another Hive City. That's some kind of virus broker or something like this. And we're doing some test renderings on hands and so on. So all that to say, this is kind of like as we're getting into Gen 2, we'll be talking a little bit more about this. And I'm like wanting I definitely want some feedback. I definitely know we're gonna add more personas because they're kind of the core of the system. And as we're opening this up to new people, like we just need a lot more of them for people to go obtain and work with and collect and so on. So for sure we're gonna do that. And I'm very committed to the idea of poses, which are like more active, and I think that'll be really fun to add in. I think past that, yeah, past that, I'm still open. So that's a really good question. Like, and actually, like 50,000. So on the one hand, it's a lot. On the other hand, marketing around token launch, something to do for people. That's 10,000 packs only. So like, it's actually not really that many people to serve, even just if everybody bought one pack. And I encourage you all to buy like 50 packs, and we'll give you discount codes to do that. I don't know. I think what I want to do is have. I think I don't know. I think Gen 2 is still just going to be personas, and we're going to go for more variety, more rarities, and so on. And that's where we're going to innovate. And then after that, we'll probably start adding in other stuff, whether that's like there will be some non-NFT or not like part of the main collective NFT creation. So for instance, like those meetings that that we were looking at, Ivy, those will be minted to the personas themselves. So and this actually might be a little bit of a good time to talk about token bound accounts. So um, Ethereum, normally to get an address in Ethereum, you've got a private key that creates a public key. The public key essentially turns into your address, and that's what you all use. And when you're in MetaMask, you're like this is my address, and everything's sort of keyed off that, including Persona Collective. So someone had a bright idea a couple of years ago to be like, what if I like published a smart contract that can have an address too, and I gave control of that smart contract to whoever was the owner of an NFT, and then like you could kind of say like the NFT had an address on Ethereum. That's a token bound account. That's a pretty interesting and cool thing. And so, as you guys know, those have been around for a while. My intent is to integrate that into Persona over time. And so, like, I want the personas themselves to have financial agency, digital agency on Web3, and eventually, like I was saying in the Discord last week, like I'd actually very much like for Persona to own physical property. There's like a legal path to do that, and so I think that's like where we're headed, right? So some autonomy and so on. So we will be, and I promise dispositive to Ed's question. The I think conceptually we'll be starting to render out events, moments in history, journal entry photos of this stuff, and they'll be like attached as NFTs to particular personas. I imagine that is also how we will do items. Real estate's going to be its own system, but fundamentally, like I don't think collectors will own real estate. I think they will belong to personas, not collectors. So yes, pets are critical, absolutely critical. Who could say you own a pet though? Maybe the pets should own personas. We need to think about that. So yeah, so maybe I would say I could imagine Gen 1 being a pet issuance as well. So I think we're gonna try and innovate on maybe rendering, and I really do want feedback on this. I like, I love Persona's sort of like visual coherency and slight differences between tribes. And it's somewhat limited, and I'm really kind of like fighting to keep what's good about it and be able to do more. And so I love your guys' feedback on that. Okay. That said, let's move on to GitHub issues and bugs. So thank you all for those filing. Those of you who moved over stuff from the Discord, it is super helpful. I've tried to respond to pretty much everything in there. I want to be clear right from the top that if someone has, in fact, found a way to harvest a persona, that's sticking with you. I'm not hiding that in the interface. Hive City is a tough place. People do bad things, and you got to live with your decisions. And so it's the only bug I've marked won't fix is a request to hide harvested personas. Nope. Sorry, guys. Why do you have to be that way? These are real humans we're talking about. And they're gone forever. And I never even look at the photos again. Those photos are gone. Tough. Portraits out of this world. So most of the bugs reports have been great. I want to highlight a couple for those of you who weren't around earlier. We have problems with asks and bids right now. There's a logic bug in the published smart contract. And the bug is that asks aren't cleared out when somebody buys or sells in the direct marketplace. And so that'll get fixed in the update. That's actually already fixed on the smart contract side. But you guys may be seeing weird stuff like there are a couple edge cases where it might even retransfer. It's really bad. But noted, thank you, fixed. Bunch of UI feedback that I thought's good, like especially about like, we were fighting like both this wanting to put the images forward and get the data out, and it's not perfect by any means. And so I've appreciated all those UI bugs, and I've kind of gone in and commented on my thoughts on some of them. And those of you who are UI and design minded, please coming back and talk through it, because I think some of the design problems are pretty difficult, certainly for me, not a designer. So happy to continue getting that input. We have a set of bugs related to like sometimes we're relying on the server and sometimes on your MetaMask wallet, and the MetaMask wallet can be slower than the server. And so we've seen stuff like Kellen got in and like maybe had some management oversight on stuff, and we'll keep chipping away at that. What I can say is that in general, like the server is really careful about what we actually update. And so if you are seeing something, you shouldn't let us know, but I don't believe right now we have any bugs where we'll let you do something you shouldn't be able to do. Yeah, we'll keep at that. So let's talk about the VATS. You want to pull them up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there are some bugs in the VATS, and I'm going to highlight one in particular right now. So let me explain. Those of you who did not play Persona V1, I hope that you're about to have a really fun time. So here's how this works, which is not something we did the favor of explaining to people who did this the first time. These are auctioned off in what's a so-called penny auction format. And what a penny auction is it's, although it's called an auction, it's not quite. Bidding starts at a penny, and once you're down and the clock is ticking, anybody can beat your bid for a penny over that bid. And when they do, the clock resets to a minute. You just have to hold it for a minute and have nobody else overbid you for a penny in that minute. That's all you got to do. That's all there is to it. So, So, we had a kind of accelerator on the bidding during the beta where it would go up to 5%, depending on how much blood tokens you own. So it wasn't just a penny. And I forgot to say one thing, which is why it's not really an auction. You don't get your penny back ever. So the penny auctions are can be very expensive. They're cheap, but if you want to keep winning, you're going to pay a lot. And so many people spent thousands of BetaNet L1 learning the ins and outs of the system. And it's super fun. I think for a certain type of person, it's super fun. So when the auction goes live, what is supposed to happen is that everybody who's in the VATS will be kind of like thrown into this thing called the chooser contract, and the chooser will just spit out like who's next randomly. We'll go through, you'll auction, A winner will get the persona. They will have an infusion added. So they'll have like all the infusion that they started with, and then they'll have all of the L1 that went into the VATS infusion added to them. So they're kind of like they've gone back. Whatever, you love them, you hated them, they just weren't ready for life, blah, 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 blah. Now they're going to have more infusion. And the person who manages to hold it for 60 seconds gets it. Couple things on implementation here. While we do, the min bid is just the larger of 0.01, or we're 1% over the current bid. We take one L1 more than that, and then we refund the net. And the reason is that like it's a technical reason on the blockchain, but for those of you who are interested in nerd shit, I will explain it to you. We might get, and we did see 20 or 30 bids for a persona in a certain block. So the question of like who wins is fairly challenging in that case. The way Ethereum normally would work, you'd be like, oh, you got to just make your 0.01 bid over. Everybody else is going to so-called like throw. Like they'll just their MetaMask will be like, sorry, the transaction didn't go through. No, they all start at 0.01. So when instead what we do is this: we're mean, we want money. Hive City is a brutal location. We just stack up the bids however the nodes order them, and each one we make pay 0.01 over the last. And so this means that like fundamentally up to 100 people in a block could all successfully pay for their pay for their bid, and the last one in the block that paid the most will be the winner for that block, and then we'll move on to the next one. So that's why you'll see this. And so like you'll see the button say like infuse 0.05, and then your MetaMask will say 1.05. Now you will get back maybe one if you're the only person to bid in that block. If you're the 50th person, you'll get back like 0.55. And so we're still like fundamentally committed to you having your say, having your bid, and taking your money. And that's how that mechanic works. There's a terrible, pretty bad, actually kind of terrible bug in the VATS as published, which is if we let the auctions run out on personas without bidding, not only can they not be claimed ever and they're stuck in the VATS forever, lost and unloved, but if we let all the slots run out without bidding on them, then we can't restart the VATs at all. And so this is going to be a play test through whatever we all put up on the VATs and do, and we're going to start it up in a second. Questions, comments, Ivy? What do you know that people want to know?
I mean, so we're all starting not with 1 penny, with 0.01, which is good. How do you send your persona to the VATs in the first place? Jess just said that she just sent Ophelia to the VATs, but like, how would I do that?
Go to your collective.
Okay.
And then choose one of your personas.
We'll do philodendron again, our example use case.
She's in the news this week. And click manage. And then click send to the VATs.
There we go.
Right.
Oh wait, it's just because MetaMask needs me to confirm the transaction.
Yeah, so right now the VATs are set to start once we have something called a min start, which is like we don't want to like restart it up if there's too few. So, and this will slowly update, like again, like a lot of this interface will get a bit faster at the end of this first round of playtest. So Erasmus, why send them to the VATs? Yes, you personally will get half of all the infusions. And like we saw personas infused up to like 6,000 to 8,000 L1 and BetaNet. Now, I would not expect we'll see that in the first few weeks of like the staking games more broadly happening L1. But it could be that this is really lucrative, and it could be it's really lucrative at times, and it could be kind of a miss at times, and that's just, you know, whatever the VATs are, they are what they are. But this is like, so I'm curious to see exactly what Kellen's talking about. Like, will we solidify around VATs being like premium, or will they be spotty? This is all stuff we're going to be kind of talking about and thinking through. And I think there's philodendron. I think it's, so in the history of markets like, you know, like say in Amsterdam in the 1600s, one of the things early markets realize is like getting liquidity means you want to focus people in on a certain time. And so we will probably have the VATS like only open at certain periods of time to like force everybody to get there together. But for right now, this will just run till it winds down. And after the dust has settled on this, and we've kind of laid out all the bugs known and unknown from the VATS, and I really do expect we're gonna have a lot. Then we're gonna put V0.2 out with all those bug fixes. So that's the plan. So if you guys want, so there's a couple possibilities here. Those of you who are rich and want to send in enough personas to make 50, you can do that. Or if you want, I can set the start number to lower. It's kind of up to you guys.
Vote in the chat if you want to have a say in it. But you're going to reset the network before, are you going to reset the network before the VATS open, I would assume?
No.
Or
This is it. We're going to do this as is.
right now. All right.
Yeah. Oh, it's starting like right now. Yeah, I'll send some while we're talking here. Like we have a couple of very large persona holders, but I know that they're in the top testers group right now. So a couple are slotting in. Why don't we set it to like, how many do we have now? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15. Yes. Yeah, I set it to 25 maybe. What do you think about that? I'll say those of you who haven't done this before, all conversation is likely to cease pretty quickly once the auction starts going. So that'll be the end of our AMA. Let me see. I'll put a few in. No. It's funny. I keep thinking I know everyone, and then on the persona of the day, I'm constantly seeing faces I feel like I've never seen before. I think that's kind of fun. I'm gonna send some elves in, just to be clear. All right, 25. So then I'll set this up for 25 while everybody's doing their thing.
The VATS are filling.
Yeah. 1 spaces test. Okay. The auction. That's not right. And you guys, as long as we do have these 5 auction slots running, you can add more personas real time, like once the auction started, and they should get randomly chosen. However, again, like once it's run down, we have a couple bad possible states that really aren't good. Okay. Okay, there, and then what's min start? Min start 50. Let's make that 25. Unpredictable gas limit. What? Don't like that. I don't really even know what that means.
Wait, so when are we doing the reset? I guess I have the same question is like, okay, so we're starting the VATS for now, but like when are we resetting? Because I feel like that's gonna affect the strategy on like, do we need to be careful about this for a little bit, or is it like we're gonna have a VATS playtest and then we reset shortly after? What's your timeline, Peter?
In my mind, like this is kind of the last thing. In the next day or two, we should reset. I'll probably take it down for a day. Some of the edit changes will be a little bit easier to do, not live. So yeah, have fun. I don't know why I can't set min start. We might just have to get to 50. Yeah, I'm able to call it locally on my test nodes, but I, for some reason, can't call it. Okay, well, everybody keep contributing. I've got enough.
I'll send another one off. I'm keeping Paul Rudd.
Yeah, I hear that. I'm putting Tartra in. She's famous. We're like pounding these spaces nodes too. They're not the strongest computers. Like the Raspberry Pis running the Lamina 1 Spaces testnet or all right, let's see. Where are we now on number?
Should put that little number up top here or something. UI feedback live.
Totally, yeah, 100%. I look forward to bossing somebody else to do all that someday. Every time I kind of like find some group of personas that I love. Like I really love the street urchins, but then I'm like, I have that experience all the time. I'm like, oh, I really love this. I really love that. It's a nice.
Yeah, I'm really into was this one? Wait, where's the little kid with the bucket hat? Is so cute. Gone. Oh yeah, him. I love him. He's so cool.
Which one? Hold on, show me.
The street urchin.
Oh yeah,
1746.
1746.
So cute.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the street urchins, they have a searching gaze sometimes. You feel like they've seen some shit. I also have a really fabulous hat I'm sending in right now. Persona 1189's hat is just might be the best hat in the collection.
It's elbow macaroni the 11th. Wow.
Oh, he's like top of the news this week, actually. He's in both the podcast and in Tartra's reports. Oh, I'm auctioning off the golden K-pop daimyo 1939. That one's really awesome. All right. There's a little hack. You can actually see if you go to the registry and look for one of the ones, like say look for elbow the macaroni. His collector hex 2DDD is the VAT. Wow, I have 40 notifications. Shit is happening. 1, 2,
So that's
3,
the
4,
VAT address.
5.
There we go.
Yeah.
Cool.
30, 40. We're just at 50, so a couple more hopefully should start us off. One thing we do right now, in theory, we send back if nobody bids, although again, it doesn't always work. But I kind of wonder if we want to like leave them in the VATS for another chance. Maybe we'll have to see. I feel like it'd have to be someone really unlikable that never ever got an infusion. So that's something I'm thinking about. Yeah, you can harvest. You could harvest them too, I guess. Okay, so it should have naturally started now, but it hasn't. So let's see what we can do about that. Nope. Why is that? It's hard because I don't have the node logs like I do for dev. Just doesn't want to. Oh, there we go. We're live. It happened.
Come on, baby.
I don't see them showing up on the page in the bidding slots, but the server thinks they're live, and that might just be a UI bug.
Refresh.
Yeah. Yeah. Feel free to keep pounding the server while I fix that UI bug.
Still not working.
Yeah. Well, they're there. I promise you. Okay. Let's see. One second. We're just relying on the wrong data structure, but no. What the hell is happening? This will be fixable on this call, I promise. Meanwhile, the clock's ticking on those first auction personas.
I know, everyone's like, what's the contract deets? Can we do this on the back end?
What do I need to say specifically?
People want comfort that this is a beta playtest and everything will be returned back to starting position before it goes to mainnet. Like this is
Everything will be
beta.
returned back to starting. Okay. Do not fear. Yeah, we've got all the data from the actual Lamina 1 BetaNet persona and state, and everything will go back to how it was.
Fabulous. Yeah. Important caveats so that we can test without fear.
Yeah, exactly.
And also so you don't lose your mind in the VATS. Are testers gonna get any type of like fun reward or Easter egg for participating in this playtest when Persona goes?
Yes, so you will absolutely get discounts on packs, amazing discounts, the best discounts. So that's one thing, and we'll probably open up pack sales to you guys a little bit early. I've gotta see if we can implement that. I'm open to other stuff. We could issue like a soulbound thank you NFT. Maybe we do that. Yeah, I'll render you all something. Soulbind it to your custom address. I'm just gonna have to trust you guys because I can't keep like all the old spaces stats. So we'll have a little form to fill out if you want your thing. Okay,
Oh,
I have
something's happening.
Yep, I broke the page, which is fine. And it'll be back in a second. All right, I'm still waiting. Aha, okay. Well, that's the problem right there. Now, what is the API call? It's gonna be like so much FOMO. I'll get this done with like 30 seconds to spare. People are gonna have to freak out. It'll be the best. Why? Like origin. I can't tell if I have like a. I don't think that I should have. Oh my God. Oh, I know the problem. Okay. This is exactly where we do some testing. This won't take long, guys. Okay. Oh, there we go. 1 minute and 34 seconds left, you guys.
Let's see.
Ed Keys is in. Ed Keys is everywhere. Oh no, those are sponsors. Okay. I'm gonna infuse something. I'm gonna try to at least. Oh, my infuse button doesn't work.
Come on.
Okay, that's a UI bug that is fixable. I've only got, like I said, I've only got 30 seconds left.
Yeah, what is?
Can we do it? Like I said, it's a UI bug.
Yeah, I'm having some problems with this infuse button.
Honestly, and let's see here. Okay. Now it should work.
I thought I did something for a second, but then, aha.
Okay, like I predicted, guys. Did it work? Yep. Oh, Ivy St. Ive is up there.
Yes,
Oh
got
shit.
one on the board, baby.
Well, I'll see you all in 24 hours. Good luck. Oh my God. 1174. We might have missed it. Oh no, Killen's in on 1174. So you guys can see, those of you who haven't done this before, like we're already up to 0.45 on 1726. So it's kind of surprising how quickly it goes up. I wonder why. Oh no, we're showing the former infusion there. That's why. So like 1746, we're showing 1726, the infusion they came with, and then there's the current infusion. So we're keeping track of the total infusion right in the interface.
This is how much it's increased from 0.03 to 0.48. Wow, yeah.
Well, what it is the current infusion's 0.03. However, 0.03 plus 0.02 plus 0.01 is 0.06. So 726 started with 0.42 infusion, like from prior things that had happened to them.
Mm-hmm.
Ellen is hiring botnets. This is pretty. Yes, you can see where.
Oh, yep, I knew that was going to happen. I was like, am I going to make it for 1,000? But of course, someone immediately steps in at the last 5-second mark.
So for reference, you guys, for V1, those of you who weren't around, we had 2049 because I had an off by one error. It should have been 2048. And they just went 10 minutes start and then 60-second updates. And they I think it was like 2 weeks to get through all 2048 of them or something. So it went 24/7. I see some that say they ended, and I can't tell if that's
Yeah, also like mine, it didn't change a winner when someone supposedly outfitted me. Wait, why is this asking me to claim? I'm gonna hit that button even though I didn't.
Yeah, claim is on behalf of anyone. It won't necessarily get it to
I
you.
see, I see. Okay.
And then, so okay, so hey guys, we're off to the races here. Thank you for doing this. Feel free to send them back for infusion. Yes, Lily, I like that attitude. There were a number of interesting strategies when we turned names on in V1. Like some people would just try and slate the board with their name to kind of like intimidate people out. I mean, it's actually like there's some interesting bidding strategy. I thought it was pretty fun. One thing too, and we don't have that turned on the bottom, but the blockchain's time is not always your local browser time, and so we will try to add more features to help people with this because like you don't want to overbid yourself. You don't want to miss a block and be out either, and so like it's pretty challenging to get it all right. And so one of the ways, like certainly the fastest thing to do on LiveNet would be to run your own node, and that'll submit stuff way faster than the Lamina nodes. And we'll probably turn on a Persona node to support the community as well. But for Spaces, it's quite hard to do that apparently. So yeah. And I think we should, again, we don't tell people exactly what's happening, but we have these Persona updated notifications. So I think like, yeah, that's one. So Killen just won 691, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, actually, Ivy, I know you're bidding, but can I tear you away for a second?
Yeah.
Will you load up in your notification 691? So if you click on the bottom right, 6 notifications. Yeah.
Ah, wait, what
Nope,
just
not
happened?
that.
Sorry.
That's a dev link. Go to the left of it.
That's a bug. Okay.
There we go. Yeah. Actually, really, any of these should do. And if you go down to the bottom to the journal, we do keep track, like you sent off to the VATS, and we keep track when they come back and so on. So so these are just like part of their life and what happened to them. Erasmus, so it does infusion costs 1L1 plus the infusion, but we don't know exactly what we're going to charge you for your infusion because it depends how many other people are bidding. So the one is like a buffer, and we give you back whatever we didn't spend. So that's very hard to see in MetaMask. But if you're the only one who bid 0.01, you get all of your one back minus gas. If you ended up getting charged 0.08, you'd get back 0.92 minus gas.
And if you run out of money playing the VATS, do you just hit up Justune or Peter for more tokens? What's the process?
I don't know. I mean, I do have a lot of tokens. I think we're going to cap the economy at 1,000, partly because I'd like us to be a little bit limited, like we will be early in mainnet. Manage your budget, says Tune.
This is playtesting, baby. We don't get unlimited fiat for this.
No. Hit me up after. Once the whole chain's live, I hereby promise to give every penny away to the Persona collective. No, I don't. But yeah. We should, by the way, be seeing some impact on the blood bank throughout this time. And
yeah, Rasmus asked, do you get blood for bidding?
So what we did originally was we did get you some blood for infusing in the vat. And that is all stuff I'm going to turn on after this beta thing. So the answer is yes, you will get a little bit of blood. And the game on the blood bank side is to make sure that when we're issuing blood that we're issuing less than it was worth, so that all blood holders their blood values will go up. as we're doing it. And so, like in V1, we basically had two ways you could interact with the blood bank. The only way at the beginning was infusing. Like you didn't even know the blood bank existed when you started. And when you did that, you got half the value of your blood. So we calculated out what that would have been worth to the blood bank if you just bought and sold there, and then we gave you half of it. Because the idea is like you're paying for the experience, and existing blood holders need to benefit off of the labors of those in Hive City who are not woke to all of the ins and outs. So the we'll do that with card purchases and MUSD. We'll figure out what the MUSD would have bought you in the blood bank and get you some percentage of that for similar reasons. So that's not turned on now, but you will see in live, or if we do a beta 2, you'll see your balances going up a little bit in terms of blood. But ultimately, if you want to play the blood game, which again is controversial, and you may notice that Hive City authorities are not the blood bank. So I just want to point that out, that they're not the same thing. But if you do decide to play the blood game, the economically most efficient way to do it is to transact directly with the blood bank, and that's what they would prefer you do. But there are sort of built-in rails for other ways you participate. That was a really gross photo, Kellen. Okay, Ed Keys, I'm confused. 623 has only one bid. Let me see. Okay, 623. Yeah, so Ed, everybody starts with 10 minutes. So when you start, you get a 10-minute clock. So I interpret that as saying 623 just slotted in and 6 minutes ago, basically. That's my interpretation of that number. And we don't set the clock to a minute if you're bidding in that 10-minute window. We just keep running it down, and we only start resetting the clock when you're below the 60 seconds. Oh, my bodyguard. Oh, yeah. We'll see what happens to him. He's not auctioned yet. So I think a couple things on notifications. So it's a couple areas, top testers, those of you who aren't just repeat clicking like I am. I think just trying to spec out like what do we want notifications for would be helpful. And I mean, on the one hand, it's like everything, and then of course it's a fair amount of work to like write out all of the different situations and so on. So if you have ideas like, oh, I'd like to know this or that, like for instance, I think it'd be nice to know one of your personas that's in the VATS has come up. Like you'll probably care about that. I am intending to turn on like texting, WhatsApp, Telegram integration too, so that you guys can like leave for a minute and still keep track of what's happening to your personas. And so that'll all kind of come later after initial launch. But I think like again, the idea is things happen in Hive City while you're gone, and we want to give you guys the ability to keep dibs on it. So. Cool. Well, I think that's all I got, and I expected we'd be all just, Asperger like trying to win things. So maybe another thing for those of you who play the original, come back with do you like the slower growth? You can see where the infusion rates are going up a lot more slowly, and so do we like that, or do we want to make it a little bit harder on people now that you're all cut into the earnings? So think about stuff like that. I think that's it, Ivy, unless you got anything else for me.
No, definitely. Just keep us posted on when you're planning the reset, and I guess we'll just have fun in the VATS until then.
Yes, totally. So I will save. I'm gonna. I have backups of the server state for every 5 blocks. So I will save all of the journal entries you guys posted, backstories and stuff like that, and I'll put them up somewhere so you can at least refer back to them. I won't reinstate them because, of course, like personas have changed hands, and you may want to do something different, and it was a beta test. But I know you guys have put some effort into writing, and I've got all that, and I won't delete it. So, so we'll have all that available for you guys, and yes, I don't know what else to say other than it's probably.
Quinine has a good question. Do we need to keep the VATS supplied for this to work? Like, do we got to keep feeding the VATS so that
If the VATs run down, they are supposed to restart once we get another 50 in. They'll keep running until they're out right now.
Okay.
I don't think that restart worked very well. There are some edge cases that, like I said, and the way they might run out is everybody goes to bed, we don't have enough testers, and people stop bidding. In that circumstance, when they run out in that way, they're currently pretty hard to restart. So have fun, don't sleep. Yeah, don't spend your main L1 on that squid.
Oh my gosh,
Not
Grumpy
yet,
Lily
not
just
yet.
immediately snatched one back for me. This is going to be bad. I have so much work to do today.
I'm telling you, like I rendered these and I set up the system, and I'm telling you, I still woke up at 3 in the morning during the beta test to get cheap ones, as many of you might understand. Okay, well, thanks you guys. Love it. And actually, one thing to say, I'm completely fine if you want to send some more non-top testers to the beta site. I mean, it's a beta net site. It's up, and I'm okay if we want to get fresh blood in here now that we are going to take their money. I think let's try to keep burden very low on Tune and me in terms of like funding. So, but yeah.
Cool. I'll ping you about that on the side. But yeah, I think opening it up even just to the larger persona chat could be super fun.
Cool. Yeah, awesome. Okay, you guys. Thanks again. This has been super fun. I really appreciate you playing and giving the feedback. So talk to you soon.
Happy playtesting. Bye, guys.
Yeah, bye.